Welcome to the Balkan Architect office. At Balkan Architect, we work from home, so it's quite a short commute to my home office. And now I'm just going to be showing you what's inside. As you can see, this is quite a small space and I needed to fill out multiple purposes, so we needed to get quite creative in order to cram everything in here. I'm first just going to give you a quick overview and then we're going to jump into a more in-depth explanation. So here we have the main desk and some storage below it. Behind is the accent gray background with this cute little shelf. Next to that is the walking treadmill, and above all of that is the green screen. So it's a roll-down green screen that I use. Here on the side there's some sound insulation and there's also some behind the screen just to reduce the echo in the room. On the other side we have the secondary desk, which my girlfriend uses, and behind that is the printer area, and then here we have the large shelf for documentation. Let's start with the main work desk. This is an IKEA L-shaped standing desk. I need a very large desk because I use a couple of monitors. Also, I really like the L-shaped configuration because it gives me extra space for writing, viewing documents, or even having a laptop opened up. Also, I need it to be a standing desk because I do spend most of my time here, so I like to make sure that I'm not only sitting all the time, but also I can stand up, move around, and even combine it with a walking treadmill in order to make it a treadmill desk. I do try to use the walking treadmill as much as possible, and I do manage to get around 2 hours of walking each workday. Also, I make sure that I'm using the standing desk in the standing configuration most of the time, so I would only have it down for meetings and also for recording videos, of course. The computer is below, and I know you're going to be judging my cable management or lack of it, and I completely deserve it. Now the computer configuration is here up on the screen. It's very powerful, it's pretty quick for all of my work tasks, and it can also handle a little bit of a sonzo in the evening when I take some time to relax. One quick tip is to turn on the night light on Windows. I tend to keep this on all the time. It removes a lot of the harmful blue light, and I found that it's really easy on my eyes when I stare at the screen most of the day. I use a dual monitor setup. I have one primary screen and then I have one secondary screen. I found that this configuration works the best. I did try them side by side with the camera in the middle. However, I always found myself kind of tilting to one side or the other, so I decided to go with this setup, and I prefer it. Now I keep the camera on top of the screens. I use a Canon EOS 70D with a 24mm lens. It does get the job done, but I am planning on upgrading the camera soon. I tend to do most of my recording with a green screen, so I keep the green screen down and I light everything up with these 4 lights. 3 lights are for lighting up the green screen properly, and 1 light is for me. I use these IKEA $15 lights and I just duct taped some baking paper on top of them. This is for giving me that diffused look. It's kind of like a softbox effect, and it does get the job done. It is ugly, but any professional lights that I've seen are at least $100 and they go up from there pretty high up, and I need 4 of them, so I just use this because it gets the job done and it's cheap. Now, if I'm not using the green screen, I just have 1 light on and I use the other light to kind of block it halfway, so the light is only falling on myself and not on the background, and in the background I have that one nice circular light that just gives a little bit more atmospheric effect. The mic that I'm using for most of my recording is the Rode Pod mic, and it's connected with the audio box USB 96 audio interface. I don't know much about audio, but this does get the job done. And for meetings, I use Logitech headphones with an integrated mic, so this is really good for meetings. And also I have a card reader on the desk. I found this super useful since starting a business because I do have to read cards quite a bit. Another important thing is this big water bottle. So it might sound silly, but I found that if I have a large water bottle, this one is 1.3 liters, I have to go less times to fill it up, and then I can keep focused on the task for a longer time. Below the actual desk, I have 3 drawers and also this useful organizer with all of my office stuff there. And above that, I have this whiteboard that I pretty much never use, so I'm not sure why I got it, but it's there. The second desk is for my girlfriend, so this is where she works. Now, she doesn't spend too much time here, so we just got this cheap but nice IKEA desk, and it has some drawers for storage. And yeah, it pretty much gets the job done. Moving on to the printing station, so we have an IKEA drawer set, and on top of that we have the HP LaserJet tank printer. Now this printer is really nice because the tank stands for a reservoir, so it doesn't use cartridges. It has a reservoir for ink, so you just fill it up with ink and it lasts a really long time, and it's also very cheap to operate. So I got this about a year ago. The only downside is that it doesn't have the integrated scanner. However, I do have a phone app that does this. Then we have the storage. This is where I keep all of my personal and business documentation. I like this IKEA shelf because you can modify it however you like. So I've set up all of these drawers here in the middle. On top of that, I have all of my main documentation, and below I keep all of the cables and all of the work stuff. I even have this small area which is perfect for charging the camera batteries. Next to the shelf is the air purifier. I really like this model because it's very quiet, so I don't have to turn it off whenever I'm recording a video. And here in Belgrade, where I live, this city has tremendously high air pollution, so these are simply a necessity. And finally, let's talk art. So I have a bunch of art all over the room. So here next to my computer, I have a couple of these drawings that my girlfriend drew someday, and I thought they were really cute, so I put them up here. I guess she sees me as Scrooge McDuck when it comes to my attitude towards business and personal finance, so that's kind of fun. On the other side, I have this watercolor of Kalinic Monastery done by my father, so I put it up here. Then we have next to the printer another small painting and also a caricature of my late grandfather. This is something that his university friend made for him one night when they were, I don't know, at some excursion with the university or something like that, so I keep that there. And on top of the shelf I have this graphic. This was actually done by one of my university professors, and my mother bought it for me for my birthday, so that's pretty nice, and I keep that there. And on this shelf in the background, that's where I keep a few of my Game of Thrones mugs. We have the, of course, the legendary alpaca, and also this really cool Funko Pop style figure of myself. It's actually 3D printed, and my girlfriend got it for me for my birthday, which fits the image of the office pretty nicely. So there you go, that's the BalkanArchitect office. I hope you have enjoyed this home office tour. Please let me know in the comment section below what do you think about this setup. Would you add something? Would you change something? Do you see something that I might include or do to make it better? And also please share what your home setup is and what you prefer to use when it comes to working from home. Thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to check out my website, BalkanArchitect.com, for more Revit courses. There I have over 120 hours of content, and I'm adding more each week. Make sure to subscribe for more videos, and also I've added a video over there that might interest you as well.